Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. Let's jump right into the co-op mode leaks. So as you guys saw from the Modern Warfare gameplay reveal that we got yesterday, all of my leaks have started coming true. So now you guys can start believing this information for those of you who doubted it before. So as you guys know, I previously leaked regarding the fact that Battle Royale is coming to Modern Warfare. So at E3 this year, it was confirmed that for co-op they are going to be having a Spec Ops mode. It is going to be returning. Initially, they had zombies, however that was cancelled a year and a half into development. They had around 10 Spec Ops maps made and then there were around 20 missions per map. However, they reused a lot of the missions on the varying different maps, so they would have the same missions but just on different maps, creating around 200 unique missions in total. However, as I was saying, a lot of them are repeated, but obviously you will get a different experience depending on what map you are playing on. Now, around 3 months ago, development began on Battle Royale, and Raven Software are exclusively working on the Battle Royale mode for Modern Warfare, so you don't have to worry about Infinity Ward taking time away from other portions of the game. Infinity Ward is still overseeing the Battle Royale mode, but it is Ravensoft who are making the large Battle Royale map. Now, what Ravensoft did to save time to make the Battle Royale map, they combined all of the different maps from these Spec Ops missions into one big map. This is the map for Battle Royale within Modern Warfare. This is an almost exact replica. Obviously, the captions and stuff like that aren't legit though. The map is around 2 to 3 times larger than Blackout. So they took all of the Spec Ops missions, mashed them together, but they've also added in some remade multiplayer maps from past Modern Warfare titles and some sections from past campaign missions too. However, I'll detail more about that in a video coming out soon where I'm going over more Battle Royale information. Today, I just want to focus on Spec Ops / the co-op mode specifically. So Infinity Ward believe that the Battle Royale map has way more potential than just being used for Battle Royale. The map is enormous. My sources have described it to be colossal in size. You have mountains towering above you, you have giant cities. It is phenomenal and is on a much bigger scale than Blackout. As I was saying, I've already made a video regarding all the information I know regarding Battle Royale so far, but I will have a video coming out soon going over some more information. So here is where it gets interesting. Initially, the Spec Ops missions were all separated because obviously the maps weren't conjoined. However, now that they've conjoined all of the Spec Ops missions into one big map for Battle Royale, they will be using the exact same Battle Royale map for Spec Ops. So it's very similar to Destiny. It is semi-open world. It is not full open world, but it is semi-open world. So you can select the different missions that you want to play from the main menu of Modern Warfare, or alternatively, you can go around the map to the different destinations or the points of interest or whatever you want to call them and boot up the different missions. It's not full open world like games like Far Cry. You can't go around the map and there's just going to be enemies around that you can just fight. So there won't be stuff that you can loot around the map. However, it will give you more freedom. You can just wander around the map at your own pace, at your own will, and go to whichever mission you want. But as I was saying, at the same time, you can boot up the different missions from the menu. It works very similar to Headquarters from World War II, where you can go to the different sections from the menu or from just wandering to the location manually. However, co-op does not just end there. So they've got the Spec Ops missions, which I'm going to detail more in depth in a second, but they also have 2 other modes that are currently not working in the game just yet. So they have a player versus AI mode, and there are 2 different variations of this mode. So not only will you be fighting other players, but you will also be fighting AI enemies. So there is one that is player versus enemies, which is 8v8, and then there is another one that is player versus player v enemies, that is 16 versus 16. Those numbers might be subject to change. Now within Spec Ops specifically, you are able to do it cooperatively. That was obvious anyways. I'm not sure on the exact number of friends that you can play with. Now, the different Spec Ops missions range in difficulty. So you have Recruit, Veteran, Hardened, etc, just the standard difficulty settings that you had within the original Spec Ops. Right now, there is no star system or anything like that, depending on how well you've beaten the mission. It will just appear as being complete once you've completed that mission. Now, within Spec Ops, you play as the operators. So obviously, some of the operators have already been revealed, and these coincide from multiplayer to the Spec Ops mode too. The operators do do not affect gameplay, it's just for visuals. And apparently there's around 20 operators within the game. Now some of them have already been revealed, however I have information on 2 more operators. So one looks very similar to Putin. He's a Russian, however he looks younger than Putin. It's basically just the younger version of Putin, but he's got brown hair, and his name is something like Havel. That is not his exact name, but it's something similar to that. Now apparently there is another operator, which is Marshawn Lynch. He was obviously within Black Ops 3, and he is apparently one of the operators for this game. So I think a lot of the operators are going to be random celebrities and stuff like that. So one of these Spec Ops missions is you spawn in and fight through some enemies, you get to the chopper pilot, and you have to cover your teammate while he holds a saw on this chopper door to get him out. Then you extract, and then it's over. Now within Spec Ops you have the choice to either play as the Russians or the Americans. You can play from either perspective. Now apparently there isn't much of a story based around the Spec Ops mode. It is tied into the campaign, however right now there isn't much of a story. I don't know if this will change by launch, but right now it is just a fun mode that you can go ahead and run and gun, and that is pretty much it. If you guys do not know, they've already confirmed this, but you are able to rank up and also level up your weapons, unlock new camos, unlock new attachments for your weapons, etc, etc, within the co-op mode that carries over into multiplayer. Alternatively, if you unlock camos or level up within multiplayer, that also carries over into the Spec Ops mode. Everything is interchangeable. It has the exact same ranking system, so if you're ever bored of multiplayer, you can just hop on Spec Ops to unlock new attachments, level up your rank, and also your weapons. Now recently, the Chinese leaker known as Victor posted a new post. Obviously, he leaked a load of stuff in the past that came true, and he backed up my information saying that it's credible, but some of it was out of date. I mean, that's inevitable. All leaks are subject to change, as the game is constantly changing leading up to launch. So all this information I'm describing within this video obviously isn't going to be 100%, but it's going to be pretty dead on accurate. But there'll be some slight discrepancies, but he said that apparently there is going to be a portion of the game that is going to be free to play, that is a large map made by Raven Software. And as you guys know, Ravensoft made the Battle Royale map. However, they are using this Battle Royale map not just for Battle Royale, but also other modes. There is apparently going to be 100 versus 100 limited time game mode for Battle Royale that is planned. It's not in the game just yet, but that is planned. But they are also using this same map for Spec Ops, so it is possible that the co-op mode could be the portion of the game that is free to play, or it could be the Battle Royale mode. It could be either or, because the map is exactly the same. They're just 2 different modes using the exact same map. Apparently, this massively saved development time, especially when testing for issues, because the playtesters have to test the exact same glitches on either or maps. So for example, if they find a glitch in the co-op map, they will then have to try and replicate that glitch in Battle Royale to see if it still occurs. That way they can get glitches fixed easier. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think it's the co-op that is free to play, or do you think it's Battle Royale? If it is Battle Royale, I think this has the potential to be huge, but even if it is the co-op mode that is free to play, I think this mode sounds really fun. As we were saying, it sounds very similar to Destiny. It's going to be semi-open world. You can roam around the map and go to different missions that you can start up, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially because you can level up and rank up within Spec Ops that carries over into multiplayer, and you can rank up your weapons and stuff like that. Now, despite there not being much of a story within the co-op mode, Price is apparently involved within the mode in some way. He is not a playable character, but he will probably assist you on the missions in some way, shape or form. Now, as we were saying, within co-op you have 3 different modes. So you just have traditional Spec Ops, and then you have PvPvE 8v8 and PvPvE 16 versus 16. However, there was actually another mode which was PvP versus zombies. As I was saying, initially zombies was going to be in the game, but it was cancelled about a year and a half in. I'll make a video talking about the cancelled zombies mode at a later date, but what they did is they reused a lot of the assets from that cancelled zombies mode to create 10 Spec Ops missions that did have zombies. However, these were cancelled not that long ago, actually, only around a few months ago, and I think the reason why they were cancelled is because Infinity Ward wanted tonal consistency across all of the modes. They want to go for a realistic modern shooter, and obviously zombies are delving into that sort of sci-fi aspects, because the storyline behind the zombies within this game was going to be more of a scientific explanation as opposed to a mythical one that we see within Treyarch zombies, for example. So it didn't really fit the theme of the game, so although they had these missions done and although they were quite fun, they just removed them entirely. I don't know whether this means they might do a special zombies event after launch, because I could definitely see something like that happening. When World War II released, they didn't have any bright colours, classes. They didn't have bright camos and stuff like that because it didn't fit the theme of World War II and they wanted to go for a realistic World War II game. But after launch, they just said, screw it, we're just going to have fun with this game. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have some sort of zombies event after launch just to have fun with it because, as I was saying, they already have a lot of assets for it if they want to introduce it. Anyways, how does Spec Ops work in terms of create a class? So, the create class system is very similar to multiplayer. I've already detailed information about the create class within multiplayer, but you will be able to change which gun you have, you'll be able to put camos on, attachments, etc, etc, and as I was saying, you can select different operators to play as. However, on top of the regular creator class, which is similar to multiplayer but it is not the same, you also have set classes. These are not designated to specific operators. You can select these classes no matter which operator you are. I don't have the full list, but there's apparently a lot of different classes you can select. So one is a medic. This class has a special equipment which is a auto revive supply box and its skill is instant revive. There is then the tank class. Its special equipment is a shielded turret and its skill is team armor. There is then an assault class. Its special equipment is a grenade launcher and its skill is infinite ammo for 5 seconds. There is then the engineer. Its special equipment is the recon drone and my source could not remember the skill. Then there is another class that my source couldn't remember the name of, but he said that the special equipment is a cruise missile, which is a kill streak within multiplayer. However, it's an equipment within this class and this is similar to a predator missile, and he said that he couldn't remember what skill the class has. But apparently there's way more skills than that he just couldn't remember. Now within the Spec Ops mode, when you spawn in on the map, it's just like Battle Royale. So you fly over the map in an AC-130 and you free fall out of the AC-130 and then parachute down to your destination. Apparently there's also a shield system within Spec Ops similar to Battle Royale, and apparently you are also able to earn special kill streaks by doing objectives within co-op. So yeah, the different kill streaks are tied to which class you have chosen, and the way these classes work is you can create a class whilst choosing which specific class you want. So when you spawn in with your kill streak and you have to find boxes of ammo, armor and kill streaks around the map that you can pick up and use. There are no ammo boxes in Spec Ops to replenish ammo, so you have to find these special little boxes around the map. There is not a set big ammo box in one specific place, so if you run out of anything, ammo, lethals, tacticals or kill streaks, you have to find them in a building like you would loot in Battle Royale to gain them. As I was saying, you spawn in with the kill streak already ready, but as soon as you've used your kill streak, you won't be able to use it again, so you'll have to loot around the map until you find another kill streak that you can then pick up and use again. Basically, this mode works just like Battle Royale. If you kill a juggernaut with a minigun, you can then pick up that minigun and use it. Think of it as a weapon from Gears of War that does not affect your loadout, but you can pick it up as a third weapon, but you can't keep it when you switch weapons. So yeah, kill streaks are tied to the classes, they are not customizable, but you are able to create a class. As I was saying, it's not really narrative driven, it's more like pick an objective, do it a few times and the mission is over. So here are some examples of some of the different co-op missions. So one is rescuing a doctor or rescuing a pilot from his crashed helicopter or escorting someone to safety and then getting rid of 5 hammers, then finish everything else off with an AC-130. Now apparently there's an objective within co-op called money laundering. This is an easy way to get money, an alternative way to get cash if you do not want to play multiplayer / Battle Royale. So as you guys know, I've already made a video about this talking about a new cash system which is called Plunder coming to Battle Royale. This is a system which I will be making a separate video about in the future, but apparently there is a way to earn this plunder within co-op 2 that is via this money laundering system that I don't have specifics on just yet. But if you don't know about how the money laundering system works within Battle Royale, I will be explaining that more in depth within a future video. But that's all I have for you guys today. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Modern Warfare news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching and bye.